Okay, with that sound now the feeling is a little different.
Yeah, so 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 you were like talking to yourself on the way here. You were you were in a car and I think you took a snap, if I'm not uh,
Yeah. For
wrong.
people who don't understand what is a snap and living outside of this country, it's
Mm,
something like Uber.
yeah.
Yeah. Did I show it off
I
right?
I think nobody, I'm not sure, but I think nobody outside of Iran is gonna listen to, um, my podcast, NY podcast. But maybe
I
some
know
people,
one person
in other
outside of it.
countries, maybe, they will listen to this episode, episode 9. Let's see what happens.
Sure.
So you were like getting warmed
Yeah.
up in the
Uh,
car, and wasn't the Snap driver, wasn't the driver looking at you like in a weird way? Wasn't he like, what the hell is he doing?
yeah, I think he was giving me the kind of look that, okay, does this guy need immediate medical care?
Did he look worried?
Yeah. So I tried to tune it down and it became worse. I started, humming some things. And I think, well,
Like mumbling?
yeah. And well, before that, it was English. So that guy was thinking that, all right, so he's talking something to
Mhm.
himself or he has an earbud. But when I started humming, then I realized, oh shit, that's worse.
So I think you must have struck him, or maybe her, I'm not sure.
Oh, it was a him.
Him, yeah. You must have struck him as a crazy guy,
Uh,
which we all are,
it could be.
I mean, in our different ways.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy you're here in my office. And we've been wanting to do an episode on Invite Podcast for quite a long time, but you know, finally we're doing an episode together. And thanks for being here.
Yeah, I'm delighted to be here. Thanks for the invitation.
Oh, a pleasure. And I now my uh, mind is gonna explode any minute now because my head is full of questions and it's interesting. I was thinking a little about this episode before you showed up, and I've known you for, I think, 4 years at least.
It's not before. Yeah.
I guess we've first met around 4 years ago.
Yeah.
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 And
Not in the best condition, but
yeah, yeah. And you were in a lousy mood, I don't want to share the details with
yeah,
our
please don't.
list. Yeah, I'm not gonna,
Yeah.
because I'm not gonna share secrets with our listeners and friends here. But you were in a lousy mood, and we first met then, and it's been around 4 years. You do the math. I don't know how long it's been, and we've done lots of things together, lots of crazy things together, and we've been friends for a long time. But I haven't asked you like so many questions. I haven't asked you so many questions about, for example, your English language journey, about how you used to study English and how you study or do English activities these days. I have no idea about lots of stuff in your life. And so, you know, uh, this episode is like killing two birds with one stone, as they say.
Yeah, exactly. So, I also have a lot of questions from you, but since I'm a listener, some of them are answered. So,
Yeah. And don't you dare ask me questions, I'm
what can I do? I'm the curious George.
Yeah, so you got a curious mind. You've got a curious mind, and as they say, curiosity killed the cat.
Yeah.
So don't be too curious. At least tonight, after this episode, do what you want to do. Now, sir, all crap aside, Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
And could you please talk a little about your English language journey? And by the way, how old are you exactly?
Uh, exactly 29, but
29.
yeah. So I have one foot in my 30s right now.
I've got 9 years on you. I'm 38 now, 38-ish, you know.
How does that feel like?
I feel great.
Ah, first question.
Oh, yeah. And I'm gonna answer it.
Great.
I'm gonna answer it. I feel nothing, you know?
You don't
And
feel like you're becoming an old man?
no, 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 no. I really, I don't know if I look my age or not. Do I look my age? Do I look 38?
No, actually, you
Yeah, but
look
be honest.
young.
You know,
Yeah,
I need brutal
I was
honesty.
going to say younger, but it came out longer. And
So I look
yeah, you look a little longer
longer.
for your
Yeah.
age. Yeah.
Yeah, great. And now I feel great, you know. And uh, so I feel I look younger.
Yeah.
Like how old?
Uh,
What
if,
the fuck are we talking about? But really, you know, how old do I look?
35
35.
at
I get that
tops.
a lot. You know, so it's interesting. Lots of people say you look 35, and you know, they say 30, the number 35. They
Mhm.
use this number, and you said 35 too. And yeah, so you're 29, and back to your question, I feel great. I still feel young, and I think, you know, I've got lots of plans lined up, and I'm doing my best to enjoy life each and every single day. And I think, you know, now I'm, you know, I hope, you know, I have a wiser head on my shoulders. I'm more experienced than before. Now I am an old timer, kind of. So I think being, I mean, being 38 years old is not that bad.
Yeah, but would you go and say to people like I'm 38 years young?
You know, I am like, I know where you're going, you know, and I am someone, uh, I always try to think positive, you know, and I'm cautiously optimistic, you know, and sometimes on purpose I am this pessimistic person, but I don't try to, you know, play with words like that. Like I'm 38. There is nothing wrong with saying I'm 38 years young, but no,
Isn't it?
uh, I don't like that, you
Hmm.
know. I don't like the sound of it, honestly speaking. So I always say I'm 38 years old.
Okay. Well,
So yeah, we're still bullshitting around,
yeah,
but no problem because we are here to bullshit around
of
tonight.
course. That
Yeah,
was,
and
yeah,
you know, fuck your English language
journey.
journey. And now we're talking about we've, you know, we're I think you're deflecting, you know, and we're digressing from the question.
Yeah. So the question was
I asked you to talk about your English, you know, language journey.
journey.
Yeah, you're
Okay.
29 and you were going to talk about your journey.
Yeah, but what exactly do you mean by your journey? Like, uh, what was the first thing that you remember when you go back and think about your journey? I'm asking this because I want to make sure that I'm going to give you the answer that you're actually looking for.
Yeah, for example, you know, I remember I've mm, always been interested in English as far as I remember, even when I was.
So it was something like you were born with it?
Um, I'm not sure if I was born with, you know, uh, a passion for English, but I've always been interested in English, and I think, you know, my parents, when I was a child. Used to encourage me to learn, English words. And my parents played a big role in my life when I was a child. And I was good at English when I was in middle school and in high school, most of the time, top of the class.
Mm.
And I was into my English classes. But I started learning English professionally in around, I think, um, 18 or 19 years ago, after graduation from high school, I started learning English professionally, and more seriously, I started going to VLI, Missouri Language Institute. And, after learning English, for 3 years, I started teaching English at VLI, and I've been an English teacher for the last 16 years. And
Mm.
now I hope you know what I mean by uh, uh, your English
Yeah, yeah,
language journey.
yeah. So I don't know. I wasn't encouraged particularly to go for English. I don't know. It just hit me over the head, I guess. If I want to go back, I should go back to the first day of high school. I was new. I didn't have any friends. I didn't know anyone. I accidentally sat next to a person who I have the pleasure to call friends for many years now.
Mhm,
I actually hugged him goodbye 3 weeks ago for military service, Navid. His English was good, and well, we became friends over a common interest of watching movies. But he, well, I wanted to be his friend because I didn't have anyone, and he was like a cool kid. So
mhm,
he awakened some interest in me, like English songs. It wasn't there before him. For example, I didn't like Eminem
mhm,
before him, and all the songs that I listened to and we used to sing along, it was all because of that friendship. Uh, Another interest that was a big thing for my English journey was video games, actually.
mhm,
He was a big gamer, and we played a lot. Uh, one video game that he introduced was Spec Ops: The Line.
mhm,
That game is a third-person shooter game, uh, and you're the captain of this three-membered crew,
mhm,
and you're sent to a post-apocalyptic Dubai where dust storm is suffocating the town and people are dying of thirst.
mhm,
And you're sent to investigate what happened to a company in the United States, company of United States.
mhm,
Uh, that was the first video game that I played, and this story was amazing. You
mhm,
know, you are this character, you're playing him, and um, as the story unfolds and you go deeper into the
mhm,
town, some things happens, and well, I was playing it and I couldn't understand what was going on. For example, one crew member named Lugo, there was a scene that he's being hanged
mhm,
by the necks, and well, you can do lots of things in that scene, but you cannot save him. And I
mhm,
knew it was a heartbreaking scene, but I
mhm,
couldn't understand why I was feeling heartbroken.
mhm.
I didn't know him. I just knew that he was funny. I understood a little English. So,
Because you couldn't understand what they were saying, and you couldn't understand completely what was happening.
mhm, exactly, yeah. That was the first time that I realized that okay, I need to learn English if I want to enjoy my life. Well, that's the first sign. Because of
Mhm,
not knowing English, I couldn't squeeze all the fun out of that game, you
mhm,
know. But the line wasn't the reason that I signed up for an English class. That happened later. And I came to know one of my friends. Um, Cena,
Mhm.
and that person. There was a line in Game of Thrones.
I haven't watched,
Really?
yeah, Game of
Oh my God.
Thrones, or some people I think call that TV show Guts, if I'm not
Gut.
mistaken.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, Game of Thrones, and
Mm.
I'm not interested in that genre. Yeah,
Fantasy or like the old times?
I'm in fantasy,
Uh-huh.
and many people have asked me to, give Game of Thrones a try, but I haven't watched even one episode of
Mm.
Game of Thrones. I'm not interested. I might change my mind because I gotta give it a shot. And some people say that we were like you. We didn't like, uh, we didn't like the game of I think Game of Thrones,
Yep.
or Game of Thrones, and we started watching it, and we fell in love with it, and we couldn't help watching one episode after another.
Mm.
Maybe I'll change my mind, but I haven't decided to watch Game of Thrones yet. And I have a big problem with watching TV series and
Mhm.
TV shows, because you get hooked on them, and you
That's
get
the best
hooked
part.
on them. Yeah, and I think you used to watch TV series like a lot, and you decided not to, watch TV shows and TV series so much. So I might, let's not deviate from what
Yeah, I'm
what you were
not.
saying, but yeah,
Yeah,
I might
yeah.
change my mind and watch Game of Thrones.
I'm not recommending the show because the ending was so disappointing. By the
Yeah,
way, the
I've heard about
first
that.
episode,
Yeah.
first seasons, the fantasy is not that strong in the show. You
Mhm,
know, if you like the political games and
mhm,
that kind of settings, this show is ideal up to season four,
mhm,
five, if you want to be uh, optimistic
mhm,
about it. But there was a line in Game of Thrones,
mhm,
back to what I was saying. Jon Snow
mhm,
was talking to his friend, Samuel Tarly in the wall,
mhm,
and he was describing his brother, Rob, and he was saying that he was better than me in everything.
mhm,
And when I heard it, I was like, oh shit, that's how I feel about Cena.
mhm,
He was better than me in everything. He really knew cinema. He could uh, criticize different movies. I remember him criticizing Christopher Nolan when we were all losing our heads about
mhm.
his movies. Um, Long before his disappointing movie like Tenet.
Tenet, yeah.
Yeah. And his English was better. He recommended a TV show called Black Sails. This one I cannot recommend it enough.
Mhm,
It's this unbelievably coherent story
mhm.
of how monsters are created. I'm by monsters I mean people who do horrible things.
Things, villains.
Villains, exactly. And you get to know this villain, you get to connect and relate to this person, and once you you find yourself thinking that, okay, why in the hell I'm relating to this character, to this evil
Mhm.
character. It's really good.
Like Walter White in Breaking Bad,
Hmm.
because Walter White is, turns into a villain for different reasons in Breaking Bad, but some people, you know, after all the horrible things he's done, still love him, and they can't help it.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes we fall in love with villains in movies and TV series.
Yeah, for example, people who hate Skylar, his wife,
Mhm.
they really don't
Know why?
understand how it feels like to be in her place,
Yeah, in her
in
shoes.
her
Yeah.
shoes, exactly. But the difference between, well, Captain Flint, the main character of this TV series, and Walter White is that you are with Walter White when everything starts.
Mhm.
You're not with Captain Flint. You just, the story throws you in the middle of it. And then later in season two, you start getting flashbacks about, okay, what happened that
Mhm.
this character was made. Anyway, this is a very overlooked TV show. It still is, different reasons, but back in those days, I remember I was watching the show and my English wasn't that good. So I had to wait like 4 weeks for the subtitle to come
Mhm.
out. And I had to watch one episode and wait for 4 weeks and then watch it again. It was a headache. So I said, okay, that's enough. I obviously need help. That was the waking moment for me. That okay, if I want to live my life, I need English
Mhm.
to enjoy it. So I asked around, and Zaman Gusar was introduced to me, and
Mhm. And how old were you back then?
I was second semester of college, or third. I don't know, 2021.
2021. Yeah,
Yeah,
you must have been 2021.
yeah. My English was
I started learning English. I think it's never too late, as I always say. It's never too late, but I started learning English professionally, kind of late too. I started at the age of 18, as I said, after I graduated from high school and got accepted to university. So you started learning English professionally kind of late too, at
actually
2021.
it happened later. To be honest,
Mm,
I've always been a lazy student.
mm.
I was just going to the classes, and the reason that I kept showing there wasn't because the English was feeling so different. No, it wasn't like that. My first English teacher was Ehsan Keivani, and
Yeah, I
yeah,
know him. Yeah,
yeah.
and he is a great English teacher.
When
And
I look back,
mhm,
maybe I wouldn't have continued if it wasn't him.
yeah,
I was at the right place at the right time, maybe. So
so
along the way, I picked,
teachers can play a big role in
yeah,
people's lives. So
especially first teachers.
especially, yeah.
Yeah. How many people do you know that are claiming that, okay, I went somewhere, I started learning, but it was a bummer somehow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Not always the teachers are at fault, but come on.
Yeah, but really, yeah, because an English teacher or a teacher can ruin your, well, for example, interest in something. For example, something like English,
Hmm.
and teachers play a pivotal role in their students' lives. And so you would have maybe, you may have stopped learning English if Mr. Kevani hadn't been your, I think, first
Yeah.
English teacher, your first English teacher. And I think you were lucky
Yeah.
because
Very.
um, I've never spoken English with Mr. Kevani, Ehsan Kevani, but I've heard a lot about him and his students. I think nowadays I think, if I'm not wrong, he doesn't teach English anymore. And I think he's stopped, unfortunately, teaching English. Did I say learning English or teaching English?
Uh,
I think you don't remember. It doesn't matter. I think he's stopped teaching English, unfortunately,
bad for the
but
people, honestly.
yeah.
Yeah.
And his students, I think most of his students, if not all of his students, make positive comments about his teaching style and the role he's played in their lives. So you were lucky because your first English teacher was Mr. Kavani, who was and still is a famous English teacher. Sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt you. You were saying.
So yeah, because of him, I was hooked and I kept
Mhm.
going. Along the way, I came to know some of my best friends that we are still in touch. I still call them my best friends. And it all happened because of English,
Mhm.
because of English classes. I kept going there. I had some other amazing teachers. One of them was your guest last episode, Fatima Sultanzade.
Fatima, yeah.
Yeah. Uh, very short, but she was also my teacher.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, she used to teach at Zaban
Zalam
Gusar
Gusar.
too. Yeah.
That's how I know her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was like that for a year or two, and then I walked in our mutual friend, Mr. Soleimani.
Yeah.
For the sake of simplicity, I'm going to call him Hamid.
Hamid, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure he's okay with that. Actually, I checked. You know,
Really?
really, yeah, really, I checked. Okay, I was like, Hamid, I'm going to feel weird if I keep calling you Mr. Soleimani,
Soleimani, yeah.
and also I'm going to feel weird if I call you Hamid if I'm thinking about not having a friendly conversation, which is not the case right
Mhm.
now. I'm feeling really like that. If I don't look at this mic, I forget that we're on the
Yeah,
podcast.
as I said, you know, we're having a cafe conversation, you know, and we're it's like two friends talking about different things, especially English, you know, in a cafe, and we are talking about different subjects, and we're just sharing our thoughts and our ideas, and so far so good. And
So far, so good.
I'm having a good time.
Me too.
Sorry to cut you off. You were saying
Uh,
now there is no mute button on you. You know,
yeah,
once you
I was accused of that many times. Like people say to me that, okay, in English you don't shut up, but in Farsi,
yeah.
why you're so quiet? And well, I guess that's the story of all of us, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Our personalities are like different when we speak in English. Yeah.
exactly. So Hamid really knows English and he really knows teaching.
Hmm.
And for the first time, actually, I wanted not to be a lazy student,
Hmm.
but still I was. You know?
Hmm.
Still, whenever he gave us homework, me and my friends, we had one friend another Hamid, who was really good at doing homework. He was really hardworking.
Hmm.
And like 10 minutes before the class, we would ask him, like, okay, what what's up today?
Hmm.
And he would summarize the
Bring
thing.
you up to date.
Yeah, and we would just parrot it back in the class. And I don't know if we could fool Hamid, Mr. Soleimani this time, I mean,
Hmm.
or not. Well, but that was the case. And well, my journey didn't end there, my learning journey, but it was in his class that I was never thinking about teaching English as a career path or even as a hobby.
Hmm.
I never taught anything to anyone before that. Whenever I tried it, I failed miserably.
Hmm.
And somewhere in along the way in his classes, I looked at him go and I thought that, okay, I think
I
I
could
want
be
to
a
try that.
teacher. Yeah, I could be an English teacher.
Not that I could be, but
You
I
decided
knew
to
I wanted to
give
try.
teaching a shot.
Exactly. Yeah, I thought that it's going to make me happy, and I was right.
Hmm.
Yeah, teaching is a very, very fulfilling experience.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
couldn't agree more. You know, I said many times when I started teaching English around 16 years ago at VLI, Missouri Language Institute. It was, you know, something revolutionary. It was an eye-opening experience. I was, after teaching at VLI, I was a changed man, you know, and I owe a lot to the English language. I owe a lot to English and teaching. I mean,
Mhm.
and you know, teaching English has helped me in various ways, and I am where I am in my life these days. You know, because of my passion for English, my enthusiasm for English, and you know, as I said, I owe a lot to English, and I am thankful to English, and I still
Oh,
try.
and you're teaching for like 15 years?
16 years.
16.
It's been
So
16 years. How
your
long?
your debt is paid. So
Thank you, but I mean that, you know, English, the English language and teaching English have helped me in many different ways.
yeah, it's surprising, right? That
Yeah.
how this could help you in other professions or other uh things that you have
Mhm.
problems with.
Exactly. You know, it like, as they say, a different language, a different vision, and English helped me, develop brand new mindsets. English helped me look at life and look at the world and people in a different way, in a brand new way. And there are some obvious reasons because when you start learning a new language like English, I think I know
No, that was
I
just
I know what you're laughing about, and you know what I'm laughing about, but let's not share it with
sure.
our listeners. When you start learning a language like English, which is an international language, you get to watch like the best movies in the world, and you get to listen to great songs, and
Mhm.
you then you can read articles, for example, New York Times articles, Washington Post articles, I mean, articles in a variety of newspapers, and listen to podcasts.
Mhm.
As you know, I'm crazy about listening to podcasts, and I'm crazy about podcasting too. Now I am a podcaster too, and I hope I can continue on this path for a long time.
Me too.
So, I always tell my students, learners, and friends that learning a new language like English can help us develop new uh, ideas, new mindsets, and attitudes.
Yeah.
And we start suddenly after a while, and but after a while, we start to look at almost everything differently. And that's why I said I owe a lot to English.
Yeah.
And I never get enough of English. I'm kind of addicted. I'm an English addict, and I've been hooked on English for like ever. And I am crazy about learning like new words, and I'm crazy about learning specialized materials, study, professional books, because as I always say, and as I've said before on my uh, podcast, MYPAT podcast, and in other places, as English teachers, as professional English teachers, we need to bring ourselves up to date, and we need to try hard to feed ourselves with specialized materials and different things from a wide range of sources like newspapers, movies, TV series,
Whatever works
times,
for you.
yeah, whatever works for you, as you said. So, so that we can help learners in a better way. You can't, and you shouldn't sit on your ass, and let your knowledge gather dust, collect dust, and expect, uh, you know, to be able to help learners in your classes. I believe, and I subscribe to the idea of lifelong learning, always learning. And it is like, a vast ocean.
Sure. What else are you going to do? Just repeat back whatever you knew
Exactly.
for
And
how many
that's,
years?
some people say that, for example, math teachers, or I don't want to disrespect math teachers, or for example, physics teachers, but some people, it depends on how far you want to take it, or how far you want to go. But they say that after a while, as a math teacher, there is nothing. I think there's always new things to learn, but they say that, for example, math teachers after a while get sick and tired of repeating themselves. But when it comes to teaching English, when it comes to English, there is always, tons of things, uh, like, lots of things to learn
Yeah, but
and to teach. It
because
never gets like boring.
it's about language is about connection,
Yeah.
and teaching English is about human connection.
Mhm.
And well, that must be different from teaching the language of the universe,
Mhm.
math.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it is different. And by the way, speaking of connection, um, most of my, if not all of them, I think all of my best friends, you know, um, um, showed up in my life thanks to English. For example, Hamid, he's been uh, my friend for, I think, uh, f- uh, 15 years.
Back to VLI, right?
Yeah, he started teaching English at VLI 15 years ago. I remember clearly and vividly the first day he showed up, and I remember his first days as an English teacher at VLI, and I uh, uh, we we've been friends for 15 years, and there are some other friends in my life. There have been in my life for a long time, and I discovered them in my classes. They were, for example, my students. So for a thousand reasons, I am grateful to English.
But that must be the best part, discovering people with the same wavelength, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. My I had a grandmother. Actually, I have. She's not dead yet.
Why did you say had?
Because she's about to die, and yeah,
Oh,
I think uh
you already
yeah,
consider her
accept her.
dead, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's not because I owe her money. Uh,
But I wish her the best.
Thank you. Yeah, me too. I'm just being an ass. Um, she is illiterate and she cannot read and write. And I grew up with her. Uh, I remember she was telling me that being illiterate is like being blind,
Mhm,
and you cannot enjoy your life that much if you can't see. And I think not knowing English is being illiterate in
mhm.
this day and age, at least.
Yeah, and you're right. Nowadays, I think in this era, nowadays, luckily in our country, there are some people, especially um, people who can afford, to go to English classes, and I mean the language classes. Nowadays, there are lots of people who not only can they speak English, but also they can speak some other languages like German, like French, like Chinese, and some other languages. And I think now we are living in a different era, but still, even these days, learning English is a must, and those who are not able to speak English are like blind
Hmm.
in, today's world, and I think parents nowadays are know better how important the English language is. They are now, they know better the value of sending their children to English classes.
Do they? I think they do
It
it for
depends.
concours.
I don't think so. When English learners, for example, when people go to English classes, um, I think it might, the things they learn in English classes might help them, you know, with their school lessons, but I don't think they go to English, at least most of them, in my opinion, don't go to English classes, to improve their GE because they want to, because of the entrance exam, or as
Mhm.
we say, concours in our country. I don't think so. Do you think they go to English classes
I don't know.
uh,
I was just
because of the entrance
I have
exam?
no idea. It was just something in the background. I thought I should check. Yeah,
Okay.
I forgot to look at the mic, and I just was on the checking mode. The curious George.
And we've been talking about lots of stuff tonight. And and by the way, this is, I think, yeah, I'm sure, I'm dead sure, this is the first time I'm recording an episode at this time. Now, what time is it? It's 20 to 7 in the PM. And that's why
Are you a morning person?
I am a morning person.
Uh,
I didn't used to be a morning person, but I became a morning person. I
mhm.
used to be a night owl. I used to play video games. I used to be crazy about video games too, especially football games.
Mm.
I am, as you know, I am a big fan of Manchester United. Now we're talking about Man United.
Yeah, now you have
And
the
and by the
guts.
way, they're doing a good job this year.
Yeah, now you have the guts to come out as a Manchester United fan. If
Yeah,
if we were recording like 6 months ago, I'm sure you wouldn't
it's
even
all
talk about football.
it's always been a pleasure to be a Manchester United fan. We are supportive fans, so when Manchester United is not even in its prime, we as Manchester United fans are try to be as supportive as possible.
Your loyalty is admirable. Not
Thank you.
as much as an Arsenal fan, but still
So you are an Arsenal fan,
big
right?
time. Yeah, yeah.
And I
What happened to you that you became a Manchester United fan?
I think I was 8 or 9 years old, and
Oh,
there
I
used to
was
be a
okay.
program on Thursdays, on Channel 3 in our country, on our on national
Who
TV,
was hosting
state
it?
TV. No, no, just and I used to watch like parts of the Premier League matches,
Mhm.
on Thursday nights to be exact. And the name of the program was uh, Island, football.
Mhm.
Okay, in Persian.
Yeah,
See, I'm translating the name of the
yeah,
program
yeah.
into English. Back then David Beckham used to play for Manchester United.
Really? I wanted to go for gay jokes, but all right.
Go fuck yourself. And David Beckham was a handsome footballer and very
Here we go.
famous. Yeah, let's not go there, buddy. I'm talking about Manchester United with brutal honesty. I don't know what's wrong with you. So, all kidding aside, David Beckham was a handsome, footballer,
Is
and he still is. And I liked him, and I liked the program.
which part of him did you like the most?
His hair,
His hair.
yeah,
Okay, I was looking for an answer like his free kicks, but
yeah.
yeah.
You said which part of him,
All right.
maybe I got you wrong. And yeah, his free kicks, he was like, you know, he he mastered, free kicks, and he was great. And then, but I fell in love with the whole shebang. I mean, the whole club, especially Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yeah,
And
that guy.
I recall vividly the match between Manchester United and Bayern Munich in 1999. I was up and I was watching the match,
Hmm.
and one of one of the unforgettable nights in my life. So yeah, I've been a Manchester United fan for quite a long time, and I still love Manchester United. And sometimes, I don't have the time to watch. And now we're talking about Manchester United, but no problem. I don't have the time to watch the matches completely, but I watch the highlights, you know. And yeah, it's great. It's good to have different hobbies. And
Yeah.
I think you like football too.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not sure if you follow Arsenal matches and the
every
Premier League
week, man.
ever. And now, but something horrible happened last week after I think 10 wins,
11
like in a
against.
row,
Yeah.
11 wins in a row,
Yeah.
and I think 8 clean sheets, if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken. Suddenly,
8 no shots on the target, by the way.
yeah,
Yeah.
uh,
Solid defense.
they're solid defense. They have mastered the art of defending, the art of defense. And I really hope, first, I hope Manchester United, wins the Premier League, and
Keep dreaming.
yeah, no problem. I hope they add another trophy, a Premier League trophy to their many trophies. But if Manchester United can't, I hope Arsenal, win the Premier League title, the Premier
Yeah.
League
It's been a long
trophy.
time, you know. It's enough with Manchester City crap,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. So now we are like off the topic again. We're deviating from uh, the question I was gonna ask of you. I was gonna ask you a question, and your answer could help lots of learners and teachers. Um, um, What methods did you use to learn English? I mean, what were your favorite ways, your favorite methods of learning English? I mean, did you learn your English, mostly through course books? At first, I think through course books, if I'm not wrong, or through movies, through songs, through news articles, news stories, and I know you are like you know uh, enthusiastic about watching TV series.
Hmm. Well, I guess I'm not a good person to answer that question. I didn't, as I said, I've always been a lazy person.
Mm,
I didn't try for any of that. Trying is a very recent thing that I'm doing.
mm,
Um, Before that, it all happened naturally and effortlessly.
mm,
Maybe the start of it was Hamid's classes,
mm.
and one of the things that uh, I have him to thank for is a TV series, a sitcom called Big Bang
The
Theory.
Big Bang Theory, yeah.
Yeah, and
Hamid really loves it.
yeah,
And
he
I think
does.
he still watches, at random, watches the episodes at random sometimes. But now
Probably.
he's too busy, he doesn't have the time to scratch his head because
Mhm.
he's busy, getting ready for his exams,
Yeah.
university
So with
exams.
my background of, I was a physics dropped out,
Mm.
and well, that sitcom was
You could
like,
relate to them.
uh, not really. It
Mm.
was like fantasy for me.
Mhm.
It was like, how could my life have been? You
Hmm.
know, that kind
Ah.
of thing. And I just got addicted, and I'm still watching it. Like with meals, the favorite thing that we do is to watch just one episode of Big Bang Theory and have dinner or lunch.
Mhm.
And
So you mean that you've watched The Big Bang Theory, like I think there are 12 seasons, if I'm not
12
wrong,
seasons, yeah.
like from season 1 to season 12, like 2 or 3 times completely, if I'm
At least I can say 10 times.
10 times
10 times.
completely,
Yeah.
and much more difficult than Friends, my favorite sitcom in terms of language.
Language.
Yeah, in terms of language, and now, after watching The Big Bang Theory, uh, all the episodes from season 1 to season 12 completely, now you watch the episodes at random sometimes.
No, not really.
One more time from season 1 again, for example.
Well, to be
Whatever
honest,
is the
I
matter
get
with you?
no, not like that. But for example, I watched season one and two of BoJack Horseman for like for a while with our meals. But then I started missing Big Bang Theory again.
Hmm,
And back to the topic of how I learn English, I guess the best way to if you are into movies, the best way is not to watch a lot of movies, but is to find one thing that you like and rewatch it over and over again.
exactly. I believe in what you said, repetition
Hmm.
and reviewing, you know, of watching something, for example, an episode of The Big Bang Theory, or for example, a movie you like 3 times, 10 times is better than watching 10 movies just once, especially when you are focused on learning English and improving your English.
Yeah.
So you mean that you learn your English mostly through movies and series,
Um,
especially The Big Bang Theory?
yes and no,
Hmm.
because Hamid's class was like big part of it was Big Bang Theory. Whatever topic we had related to the coursework that we were working on, he would gave us some short clips of some episodes of Big Bang Theory, and we had to watch it and talk about it in the class. And
Didn't he know anything else to do in your classes? I'm kidding.
yeah, maybe
Yeah.
yeah. Let me join you in being an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, um, how about course books, like for example, the Interchange series or the Top Notch series?
As a student, I only worked on Top Notch.
Top Notch. I
Yeah.
love, the Top Notch series and Summit 1 and 2. And
Yeah.
now
But as a teacher, which one do you prefer? Top Notch or Interchange?
I really love the Interchange series. I
Because of the
think
topics and
the
conversation.
topics, but the teacher must be creative, and I
Mm,
used to use them in my classes. The Interchange series books can help students if the teacher knows what he or she is doing. The books can help students to talk like a lot in their classes.
mhm,
But honestly speaking, I think the top-notch books are more professional and more systematic. It's easier for teacher to use the book and to go through the lessons, and it's easier for the students because uh, like the top-notch fundamentals is different, but from top-notch one on, uh, it's like uh, there are 10 units in each book, and the structure of each unit is the same. I mean, exactly the same. Preview, lesson one, lesson two, lesson three, lesson four, and then, a review and writing and stuff. So, and I am a systematic person. I
mhm,
like systems. So I think, and we use the top-notch books now. Maybe we'll change our mind in the future. We use the top-notch books at NY Academy, and they're helping our learners like a lot. And I've heard a lot of positive comments about the American English file books, but I um, I haven't, decided to use them yet because they're not, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, it was about time.
Yeah.
They're not as systematic as the top-notch books,
Hmm.
but there are various factors. Any book could be a good book, and even the best books could be, horrible if
Yeah.
used wrongly.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
So, course books.
yeah, as a student, I only worked on top notch, and and I only remember Mr. Kavani's teaching on cars because we we talked a lot about that, and then it's all a blank until I got to Mr. Suleiman's class. Oh shit, I'm back to Mr. Suleiman's channel. I
Mhm.
should, okay. Hamid, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Summit books. And well, Summit was a little different from Top Notch,
Mhm.
you know. The topics were better somehow. It was more conversation material thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Sure. Go ahead.
I think you are an introverted person, right?
Yeah.
If I'm not wrong, I am an introverted person too. I am more on the introverted side.
Hmm.
And I think now you're out of conversation because you're like now you're giving me short answers. Yeah, some it is good, and
Yeah, as I
I
said, it's not my thing. Look, I can talk to you till the morning about TV series,
but not about,
but
yeah, you're
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Maybe we were talking about the wrong.
No, it's not the wrong thing. I'm not an expert in that, so I prefer to keep my mouth shut.
So, and I believe, I don't know if you agree with me or not, and then let's talk about a little about teaching. I,
Mhm.
I believe that we should focus on what we like when we want to learn English or whatever. We shouldn't force ourselves to do things we hate or,
What
uh,
do you mean?
for example, if you're not interested, I love reading books. Nowadays, I listen to audiobooks. I've always been, interested in books and I'm podcasts. Podcasts, listening to podcasts takes the highest priority in my life. In the education sphere or in the educational sphere. But if you're not listening to podcasts, if you're a YouTube guy, watch YouTube videos. Enjoy what you're doing and learn and improve your English. If like me, you're an auditory learner, if you like listening to things, listen to podcasts, audiobooks.
Hmm.
If you're not interested in news articles, you don't force yourself to read news stories, or for example, the New York Times or the Guardian or whatever. You're not interested in news stories, and your time is limited,
Yeah,
and we shouldn't waste our precious little time.
yeah,
So, do you agree with me?
yeah. Sure. It's all about acquiring new knowledge through the English language,
Mhm.
your second language, right?
Yeah.
That's how you can learn the language the best,
Mhm.
by learning something that you don't know, and you don't know it in your mother tongue.
Mhm.
So I don't know how this goes, but at least it was a personal thing for me that a lot of things that
Mhm.
I know it only in English, and whenever I want to speak about them in Farsi, I have to translate back,
Mhm.
which makes the conversation really awkward,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, what are you mainly focused on? I mean, books, TV series these days, and
these days,
uh, these days,
these days,
these days, and I remember you talking about a decision you had made. You said that you had decided not to watch TV series
yeah,
anymore.
that was about a year ago, or I,
So you're
I,
back on track, man.
yeah, I'm like an addict who can't help himself.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, for example, we started watching Pluribus, the new Vince Gilligan TV series. Yeah. we watched the first two episodes the day that it came out, so I
Mhm.
guess that's a sign of an addiction.
Your addiction,
Yeah,
yeah, to TV series and TV shows.
yeah,
And why did you make that decision back then? Why? What made you make that decision? Suddenly, you decided to, get away from TV series for a
yeah.
while.
I mentioned earlier that I have one foot in the 30s,
Mhm,
and well, I'm a little, I don't know, I'm a little depressed maybe,
mhm,
to be honest. I'm generally happy about myself, and
mhm,
not about myself, but about my life. But I'm not happy that I'm always this lazy person who's not trying, you
mhm,
know? So I decided to stop doing whatever I want whenever my whim wants something
mhm.
and force myself into situations. And well, that didn't work out very well.
And you started watching
Yeah,
series. Yeah, sometimes we
fall
can't
back
help
right
it.
into it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I think you get your kicks from watching TV series, if
yeah.
I'm not mistaken. And our time here is limited, so we should make the best of our limited time. And, you know, uh, I think uh, to me, listening to podcasts is like one of the most enjoyable things like ever in life. And I've been interested in listening to podcasts for like ever for a long time.
Is there any particular reason for that?
I think, I am an auditory learner. I've always been crazy about listening to things.
Yeah, but podcast is a very new thing.
Believe it or not,
Before podcast, like, were you into radios?
I was,
Really?
I think this is the first time I'm sharing this with on my podcast,
Mhm.
and I mean maybe um, I think I've never talked about it before, but I used to listen to uh, uh, the radio in the Apple Music app.
Hmm.
I mean, English stations, American stations. And I used to listen to the audio files of movies in my car.
What a geek.
And I used to, uh, and I used to listen to, music and audiobooks. I I'm an auditory learner and I like listening to things. And for example, around 11 years ago, I was living in Tehran and every day I would listen to podcasts. And back then, not everybody knew what podcasts were, but even back then, I was hooked on podcasts and I would listen to podcasts on my way to work and and on my way back home. So
And your favorite podcaster is Sam Harris, right?
Sam Harris, I really love him, and I love him. And there are some other podcasts and some other podcasters I listen to, but Sam Harris has got a special place in my life
Hmm.
and in my heart. You know, he holds a special place in. He holds a place of paramount importance in my life. I love him for a variety of reasons, and not every day, almost every day, I listen to his interviews on his own podcast, the Making Sense podcast. Now you are being a host, and I am being the guest. What is happening? And as his the episodes on the Making Sense podcast, his own podcast, and his interviews on some other um, shows, podcast shows. And I believe in essentialism. And
What's that?
essentialism, it means, and there is a book called Essentialism, I think, by uh, someone McEwen. I don't remember. I think his first name. Yeah. Uh, but I haven't read the book, but I'm familiar with the concept of the book. and the points mentioned in the book. I think as I said earlier, our time is limited and we should focus on the most essential things in our lives. For example,
How about the most enjoyable things in your life?
and maybe the most enjoyable things, and I think the most enjoyable things and the most essential things can be correlated, and
It can be,
can be, yeah.
not necessarily.
Not
What
necessarily.
happens if those two are in conflict?
Oh, I don't know.
No, according to you, okay, if you know something is essential for you and another thing is just enjoyable, would you go for the essential thing?
Fortunately or unfortunately, I'd go for the essential thing. And
Mm,
my therapist a while ago said something interesting to me, and she said, "Mohammed, sometimes, not always, you have a problem with having fun and doing the enjoyable things."
mm.
Because I feel I'm like always feel committed to my goals, my classes, my
We're
profession.
quite opposite about that.
Yeah, I think you and I, um, when it comes to what we're talking about, we are like complete opposites.
Yeah. Opposite attracts.
Yeah. Oh man, that was so gay.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
David Beckham, right?
David Beckham, yeah, I was in love
Yeah,
with his hair. Yeah,
hard
not
to
his
please
free
you.
kicks. Yeah, I fell in love with David Beckham and his
Yeah.
hairstyles. You know,
Yeah.
his many hairstyles.
Well, you must
So
be
I think we should focus on the most. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what's happening.
Should we talk about the essential thing in the podcast or the enjoyable thing?
I think you're doing both simultaneously at the
Yeah,
same time.
I drag your ass out of, yeah.
Yeah,
All right, sorry.
we can't help it.
Okay.
By the way, you're such a jerk.
I
And
don't object to that.
as I was saying, man, you my man. You know,
No, man.
as I was, as I was saying, I prefer to focus on the most essential things in my life, and I am a perfectionist. I came to realize it the hard way. It took me a long time. Nowadays I'm okay with watching YouTube videos, watching TV series, and some other English activities, but I'd rather stay mainly focused on listening to podcasts, books, and learning specialized materials. But sometimes I watch movies, I listen to music, and there is nothing wrong with that. You know, but I subscribe, to essentialism and to the idea of minimalism, which is usually used in architecture and in the architecture world, but it can be used anywhere. So I think you prefer to stay focused on movies
I don't,
and series.
not necessarily. It's not a preference. It's just an addiction,
Mhm. Yeah, as you said.
you know.
How, how
Yeah.
about teaching? How about teaching, and how has teaching transformed you? Has it transformed you? Have you undergone transformation because of teaching?
I never really thought about it, uh, about how teaching has transformed me. Maybe more, I'm a more tolerable person because
Mhm.
of that, because as a teacher, you have to be. But the thing about teaching, these days I try to drop as many classes as I can. And right now I only have,
You try to drop.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah. Uh, I don't have many classes right now. One of the reasons was, well, as a teacher, I was losing the social skills to connect to other people who
mhm.
don't know English. And
Mm-hmm.
that started to become problematic when I, for example, wanted to hang out with my family.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I was living in a kind of loop for a couple of years,
Mm-hmm.
learning and teaching English, and the need for social connection was somehow satisfied in
Mm-hmm.
inside an English class.
Mm-hmm.
And well, as I said, I started feeling like, okay, this is becoming a little problematic. I cannot connect to other people. But that's not the reason that I dropped English. It was just something that I have thought about regarding your question. Uh, the real reason was that I was somehow I got the joy of being a student again after Hamid's classes uh, with Mr. Perziarmaya.
I love him.
Yeah,
BY.
BY. Yeah,
Yeah, I am MY
you're MY and
and
he's
BY.
BY.
Yeah, I've attended so far three of his courses, and he is a genius. You know, when I started learning English and teaching English professionally, I think lots of people, including me, were mesmerized by Dr. Viziri, Alireza Viziri,
Mm-hmm.
our mutual friend. And he was on my podcast on episode
Six.
6. Yeah. And I really liked the conversation with him on my podcast. You know,
It's always a
it
fun,
always
always a pleasure. On and off the podcast, I must
he's
say.
full of life.
Yeah,
He's like always hopeful, always learning, and always teaching. He's a natural.
exactly.
He's a natural teacher. I think he was born it. Actually, he wasn't born a teacher, based on what he said on my podcast, but I think he was born a teacher. Uh, you know, and what was I saying?
About being a student in
Yeah,
Berzapia.
I was mesmerized by Dr. Viziri, and I was inspired by him, but for a long time, I hadn't been inspired by anybody. You know, by of course, I always get inspired by my colleagues
Yeah, but
or
not with that gravity, I guess. Yeah.
exactly. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But suddenly, thanks to Hamid, I, uh, you know, Behruz Yagmayan was introduced to me, and his courses were introduced to me by Hamid, and I started attending his courses,
Mhm.
online courses. Unfortunately, I hope
Unfortunately.
to see him sometime soon in person, and believe it or not, he's on my list, you know. And I hope one day I record an episode with
That would be a
him.
hell of a podcast.
Maybe that'd be great. That'd be like a dream come true. Maybe in Mashhad, maybe somewhere else. I don't know. I hope one day I can do an episode with him. And when I started attending his writing classes and courses again in my life, especially in my professional life and educational life, I found another source of inspiration. And this time around, it was Biwai or Beruz Yahmayan, and I am thankful to him and Hamid, for introducing him to me.
Yeah, the exact same thing happened to me. So after, there was a time that I was considering teaching English as my only career.
Mhm,
For some reasons, I decided that that's not the right thing for me.
mhm,
But before I made that decision, I was encouraged to try IELTS and start teaching IELTS because of the better income. And well, it it didn't feel right for me.
mhm.
It was not, I was not getting the joy that I was getting out of the general English classes. So, but before I realized that, I remember it was we had It was one of my friend's birthday parties, and it was close to Christmas, so we decided to have an early Christmas party. And that night, I was, well, not myself
Mhm.
for uh,
Some reason.
for some reasons. For to be precise, well, 11 glasses maybe.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's one for the record books. 11.
No, come on. It's,
I'm
you're
kidding.
being nice to me, but okay. Wait for the comeback. And I was in that mood when Hamid called me and said, "Okay, whatever you're doing, buckle up because Mr. Yagwin has started an online course on writing, and
Mhm.
usually it gets booked really fast."
Yeah.
So in that uh, condition, I
Mhm.
contacted them and I had to transfer money 3 times because every time I got it wrong. But anyway, I managed to get to his class, and
It's interesting because now you're a banker.
yeah, I
Yeah.
get that a
You
lot.
got it wrong 3 times.
3 times, yeah. Uh, After 2 or 3 classes, before that, I was looking at taking the IELTS as a uh, validation metric,
Hmm.
something to show off.
Ah.
Yeah. But it was in his class that I saw the beauty of writing,
Hmm.
and especially, well, IELTS writing, the discursive essay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was just a big humbling experience for me that,
Mhm.
okay, slow down and let's keep learning. Let's enjoy it. I finished that course, and recently, not very recent, but about 3 or 4 months ago, I started another course with him. It's a general English course,
Hmm.
but it takes up a lot of my time. It's 3 times a week class, and the load of information is just so heavy for me that I decided, okay, if I'm going there, I should, you know, put some effort. And that's why I decided to not teach as many classes as before.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And you're now focused on self-education and self-development. And because you're right, because sometimes when we start teaching, and I'd like to mention two things. I'd like to make 2 points related to what you said. When we start teaching, then we get stuck. And I think you know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
After,
We
yeah.
are, after all, we're just focused on teaching and repeating ourselves. And I hate that. And that's why every day I try to learn new things and practice. For example, every day I practice writing and speaking in my classes, and I try to learn new words and whatever, because you know, we should never forget that we ought to stay learners, and we ought to learn forever.
Hmm.
And I think you missed being a student, and you missed learning
Yeah.
in English classes, and
Yeah.
that's what.
If you kill the novelty of your classes, like
Mhm.
if your class today is exactly the
Mhm.
same way structured as the class that you had last
Ah,
month,
yeah.
then you became those kind of math teachers that we talked earlier. You know, you're not
Yeah,
going to enjoy it, so your students are not going to enjoy it. It becomes something that you're doing only to get money.
exactly. And I think life could be boring that way. It
Exactly.
depends. I don't. That's not like gospel truth, but life could be boring that way. And another thing, you said you attended IELTS, some, or I don't know, one IELTS
Just writing course.
writing
Yeah.
course held by Bivide
Yeah.
or Yagmayan, and you realized it wasn't your thing. It wasn't your cup
No,
of tea.
I realized that before that I saw the beauty of it.
Hmm.
Before that I was only thinking, okay, I should start teaching IELTS to get more money,
Yeah,
you know?
but I think it's really you should. you should be brave sometimes, because if you, as I said earlier, if you think, for example, that you if you can't get a kick out of reading books, don't read books. Uh, Sometimes we have to do the things we abhor, but generally speaking, I think most of the time, if you don't like something, we shouldn't do it. Okay. Same thing here. If you think, for example, IELTS writing is not your cup of tea, is not your thing, so then forget about it.
Yeah, you're
And,
never
and
going
you
to be
should,
good at it.
and you got to be brave. Not everybody is brave. Some people think that, oh, now I am an English teacher, I am a GE teacher, general English teacher, but I don't know shit about IELTS. I don't know shit about the IELTS writing. There is nothing wrong with being ambitious, and if you think that IELTS could be your thing, go for it. But you shouldn't feel forced.
Hmm. Well, the thing that made me not enjoy IELTS courses, because even without taking the IELTS exam, I taught for a while.
Mhm.
Um, the thing that I didn't like was saying goodbye to people that I started to become friends.
Mm.
That was a little hard for example, the Cena character that I told you before.
Yeah.
Um, his English was better than mine, but about a year ago, I trained that nigger to get the speaking score that he needed, and I have to say goodbye to him in like a month.
Mm.
And it's, well, at the same time, I'm happy for him, but I can't help
It's
but,
like, mixed feelings,
yeah,
bittersweet feelings. You're
exactly.
helping a friend, get what he wants.
Hmm.
At the same time, you're losing a friend.
Yeah. So I couldn't help myself with
Mhm.
making connections with the students who were coming to my IELTS classes. And well, after a while, we weren't, well, I'm not going to say we were friends, but at least it was a familiar face. And a lot of them are really talented, and watching them go
Mhm.
uh, didn't feel right for me. I thought that,
And I
okay,
think you are an emotional person. Uh,
thank you.
uh, Not everybody knows that. Uh, I know you're an emotional person, and I think you hate goodbyes.
Yeah, it's a little hard.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, um, your emotions and your personality were another factor, another reason why you decided not to, you know, get into the IELTS world.
Hmm.
Am I
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And mm, so great, Nasser. Okay, Nasser. I think we've been talking like a lot about, you know, your English activities, your English language journey, and teaching your teaching philosophy and stuff. And we've been bullshitting around too, I think.
Did I have a philosophy?
I don't know.
Oh,
I'm
all
generally,
right.
I'm speaking generally.
Okay.
I think you didn't say anything about your teaching philosophy and stuff. I mean, you talked about your teaching style and uh, your love of teaching and stuff. And you shared some stories with us. And as I said, we've digressed from, uh, you know,
A
uh,
lot.
English. Yeah, we've deviated a lot. I think many times today on this episode, but no problem. We're having a good time. We're having a ball, pal. Now, I want you to talk to talk about your non-English activities. What is Nasser doing in the other spheres, in other areas in his life, when he's not, for example, watching The Big Bang Theory, when he's not watching a TV series like Pluribus. Is that pronounced pluribus or pluribus? I'm not sure.
Best. Yeah.
Pluribus, created by Vince Gilligan, the creator of Breaking Bad and Better Call
Better Call
Saul.
Saul.
And by the way, I want to deviate again. Um,
Let's go.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Better Call Saul is
yeah,
better. Yeah.
but no. I'm not going there. Before we talk about the non-English activities you do or your non-English hobbies, I'd like to say that speaking of pluribus, these days I'm watching Sima and I, my wife and I, are watching Breaking Bad, and I first watched it around, I think, 11 years ago or 12 years ago.
So when it was fresh, when
Uh,
it was coming out. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It was, I don't know when it was released exactly. I don't know the exact date, but yeah, it kind of fresh, as you said. And now I'm watching Breaking Bad for the second time and Sema for the first time. And
Oh, nice.
a while ago, we both finished Better Call Saul, and we were watching it. We both were watching it for the first time.
Oh, so Simo watched Better Call Saul.
Yeah, first, she's lucky because, unlike me, she first watched Better Call Saul and then now she's watching Breaking
Mm,
Bad, and now
okay.
we're in season five. I think, yeah, season five, the last season. We're watching the last episodes
Hmm.
in season five. And, Vince Gilligan is, I think, a genius. He's,
Master of his craft.
yeah, and you know, uh, it's interesting. I'm watching Breaking Bad for the first time, but it's like watching it for the. I'm watching Breaking Bad for the second time, but it's like watching it for the first time. And I think I'm lucky because, sometimes I know the uh, the main things that happen in Breaking Bad, but luckily, I have forgotten the details, some important details, and sometimes I'm as excited as Seema when we're watching it.
Yeah.
And now I can't wait to
You
watch
know, there's one
Pluribus.
problem with watching Better Call Saul before Breaking Bad, and that's the character of Gustavo Fring. You don't really get it in Better Call Saul if you haven't watched Breaking
Breaking
Bad.
Bad.
And a movie recommendation for you after you finished Breaking Bad, El Camino. If
El Camino.
have you watched it?
No, not
So
yet.
that's
I think I've heard about it, but I haven't watched
that's a
it yet.
movie again created by Vince Gilligan.
Oh,
Yeah, and
really?
yeah, and that movie's job is to give you a closure about
Mhm.
Jesse Pinkman's story.
Oh,
Yeah,
and how many seasons?
a movie. It's a movie.
It's a movie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Make sure to watch it.
I will, and thanks for the recommendation.
Sure.
I've heard about El Camino, if I'm not. I hope
If I'm pronouncing it
yeah,
right,
it must be a
you know
Spanish.
Spanish.
Yeah, and I will. I haven't, and because Better Call Saul is focused on, I think Jimmy,
Yeah,
Saul Goodman.
and
Uh,
Kim Wexler.
and Kim Wexler, yeah, Reese Horn, played by Reese
Yeah,
Horn, and now Reese Horn,
yeah,
I hope
yeah.
I'm not pronouncing her name wrongly. She's the main character in Pluribus,
Yeah.
and Pluribus is an Apple TV original.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and
I'm an Apple fan.
it's a science fiction. So
Yeah.
if you dig that kind of stuff with the writing of Vince Gilligan, to be honest, I didn't dig the first two episodes that much.
Mhm.
I hope it gets better.
Uh, I haven't watched the first two episodes because uh we're gonna watch first of all, when we're done with Breaking Bad, we're gonna watch some movies because when you start watching a TV series like Breaking Bad or another one, you can't watch movies.
Hmm.
You like get farther and farther away from watching movies.
Mm-hmm.
From movies, I mean.
Yeah.
And first, I think we gotta watch some movies on our list.
Yeah.
You know, like Freud's Last Session. I don't know, some other movies on my list, on my to watch list. And then I think we'll start watching The Sopranos.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. Uh, Maybe it's not the best choice. Sopranos.
you don't like it?
I love it. I didn't finish it, but you know the whole
Why do you think it could be a bad choice? Why, man?
um for example, Pirates of what's the pronunciation? Caribbean?
Caribbean, Pirates of
Caribbean.
the Caribbean.
Pirates of the Caribbean. So I didn't watch it. I never watched it.
You mean starring Johnny Depp?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I haven't either.
yeah. Well, it's an all-time favorite for many people.
Mhm.
And the problem is you have to watch it at the right time. If you watch it now, you're probably going to find it tedious or boring, as I did. You
Mm,
have to watch it when it was aired, not
mhm,
now. The same thing goes with Sopranos. It's a little dated, if you enjoyed Better Call Saul, that kind of filmmaking, probably some scenes in Sopranos is going to bother you,
mhm.
although the story is perfect.
And you got a point in there, but I know what you're talking about. But I like Italian Americans,
Hmm.
and I like New York. And if I'm not mistaken, The Sopranos was made in New York,
I guess in New Jersey.
New Jersey. But I like Italian Americans, and but maybe we shouldn't watch it right after watching Breaking Bad again or Better
Hmm.
Call Saul.
Yeah, my recommendation is again Black Sails. It's it's something that is, it doesn't require daunting commitment.
Hmm.
It's not like you have to put a lot of brain power into this TV show. It's as simple as it can get, but the story is so deep and complex.
Hmm.
And as I'm growing older, when I was 20, I really appreciated complicated things, complicated stories,
Hmm.
with a lot of different sides and a lot of unfolding. But for example, I watched Dark a couple of years ago, and I thought, okay, a TV show shouldn't be that hard to follow.
Hmm.
As I'm growing older, I'm appreciating Black Sails more and more for the
Okay.
simplicity.
You see, here we are again talking about TV shows. We can't help it, man.
Yeah, we can help it.
And uh, there is no stopping us.
Yeah, so
And
let's put it
you
on
were
the list.
supposed to actually you were supposed to talk about your non-English activities, and you were supposed to talk about the other spheres of your life, and we ended up talking about TV series
Yeah,
again.
yeah. Sorry
We
for that.
can't. No, 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 no. It's my fault. I think sometimes, I ask you a question, then I start.
Then you regret it when I open.
No, 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 not like that. But then, we one thing leads to another, and suddenly we wind up talking about something else, then something else, but it's fun.
Yeah.
Tonight has been a great night, man. So, now let
Why
me
you red, man?
I don't know. I have no idea, but I'm having a good time.
Me too.
And so, what is Nasser doing when he's not watching the Breaking Bad? Not the Big Bang, the Big Bang Theory, or something else. Talk about your non-English activities. For example, are you interested in playing the guitar, or are you interested in any musical instruments,
Yeah,
or
I started
in art?
electric guitar,
Okay.
but I didn't keep going.
Mhm.
I don't know why.
Why? What has stopped you? What has
Because
stopped you? Sorry.
stopped me.
Yeah, what has stopped you?
Well, I'm a lazy person, as I said
Mhm.
before, and it learning a musical instrument requires discipline and commitment to it.
Mhm.
and I have none.
And you hate commitments.
Yeah, yeah.
And how about watching TV series? Because when you start a TV series, don't you feel committed? Because
Not
it's
really. No, I easily drop
to
watching. I'm not. Some people are, married to their TV series. Like if they start watching something, even if they feel it's horrible, they keep going.
Mhm,
I have no problem quitting.
mhm.
I'm a big time quitter.
You're a quitter, but sometimes I think, as I said, it takes courage. Sometimes you need to summon up courage, enough courage to drop something, as you said, to say goodbye, to kiss something goodbye. It
Exactly.
is necessary. For example, uh, I've I'd been listening to an audiobook, and I'm not gonna say uh, what book, okay? I'd been listening to it for a while.
You're
And
afraid of the judgment? Come on, man.
yeah, I see. I'm afraid people will pass judgment on me because I like the author. I really like the author, and
May,
I
may I ask the author?
come on, Steven Pinker.
Okay.
But yesterday I realized, you know, uh, s- uh, 6 chapters into the book, I think the book has. Let me tell you what book I'd been
I'm
listening
not
to.
insisting, okay, for the record.
But I want to share it
Okay.
with our audience, with our listeners. I'd been listening to Rationality.
Mhm.
Great book. I liked the first 6 chapters. But yesterday I realized I wasn't getting a kick out of it. I wasn't deriving any pleasure from it any longer.
Mm.
I decided to put a pause to it, put it on the back burner. I think, I'll get back to it
Yeah.
sometime too soon. But yesterday, I summoned up enough courage and I decided to put it on the back burner. And sooner or later, I'm gonna throw it off the burner. You know what I'm saying? But I mean that sometimes you should be courageous enough to say no to some stuff.
Yeah.
And what
Couldn't
are
agree
you
more.
talking about? Why did I end up talking about Steven Pinker? Do you remember what we were talking about, man?
Oh man. Now you're asking the hard questions.
Yeah, so yeah, I think sometimes there is nothing wrong with putting an end to something,
Yeah, but
putting a
it it,
pause to
it
something.
shouldn't be too early.
Hmm.
For example,
Yeah.
here I'm talking about TV series again. Leftovers is a masterpiece of all time. It's created by the same writers of Lost,
Hmm.
very famous TV show for 20 years ago.
I haven't watched it. I remember everybody was watching
Yeah,
it.
everybody was bummed about the ending, if you remember. But
Yeah.
anyway, it's a masterpiece, but you have to suffer through for the first season,
Hmm.
and then it gets interesting.
Same story with Breaking Bad. Some people stopped watching Breaking Bad because they didn't like season one, the
Mhm.
first season. But I'm like, come on, you gotta be patient. You you might be someone who can't like Breaking Bad and anything about Breaking Bad, but you gotta be patient.
Yeah, your pulling out game must be strong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm talking about. So, non-English activities.
Uh, I don't know, man. For example, I also play video games, but that's also English activity in a way.
Yeah, but yeah, you come across some English words and stuff, but I don't consider that as an English activity. You're involved, but
Yeah. Well, the last video game I played was Red Dead Redemption.
Hmm.
2, and it's by far the most interesting story I ever heard. I
Hmm.
watched a lot of TV series, but nothing comes close in
Hmm.
terms of story.
Hmm.
Now, the graphics of the game is awesome, second to none. So this video game easily eclipses all other video games that ever made. And well, I don't know if you consider that as a non-English
I,
activity.
I consider that as a non-English activity
Mhm.
because, yeah.
Yeah, for example, when I finished it, I recommended to everyone, and I said, if there's only one reason for you to learn English, is to play Red Dead Redemption.
Hmm.
It's that good.
And do you still play video games?
Not that much. The last time that I played video games was during the war that we had, the 12-day war.
Hmm.
That was the last time that I played video games.
Hmm. I quit playing video games a long time ago.
You should, man. It research shows that it helps you.
There are some advantages to playing video
Mhm.
games, but
Keeps your brain young.
yeah, you're right. Doing lots of things keeps your brain young, like learning new languages.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if these things have been scientifically proven or not, but I think doing new activities keeps your brain young,
Yeah.
like learning a musical instrument at the age of 80, for
Yeah.
example,
Yeah.
70, or for example, learning a new
Yeah,
language,
but those are the things
playing
that
video
you learn,
games.
okay? It's not, it's something you need discipline for. But video games is just a hobby. It's
And
different.
and what I like most about video games is that when you are playing a video game, especially a video game you are interested in, you can't uh, get your mind off of it.
Hmm.
You can't get your mind off of the video game, and it's like um, it's you forget everything, and you let your mind get some rest.
Yeah, you're totally disconnected from everything.
And it must be therapeutic.
Hmm.
Isn't it therapeutic
Must be.
playing video games?
Yeah.
Because I've been there. I used to play video games.
Yeah. So for a person like me who's living in Middle Eastern country in 2025, playing Red Dead Redemption that takes me to Wild West of the United States, and I get to be with a gang of gangsters,
Mhm.
and because it's an open world play, you get to be friends with some of them. You have options to have conversations, or I don't know, to piss them off.
Mhm.
You have all the options. You can just sit at the table and play poker with them.
Mhm.
It's total therapeutic situation.
Yeah, but unfortunately, and I brought it up with my therapist a while ago, and nowadays I am not nowadays, it's been a long time, like forever. I'm badly hooked on English and English activities. It's not like I don't like any non-English activities.
So, what non-English activities do you crave for that you're not doing?
Actually, unfortunately, I don't, long to do any non-English activities,
Hmm.
but I am, for example, I've been going to guitar class for over a year,
Nice.
and now I'm it's interesting. It's not like it's like a hobby, but I'm getting better and better at playing the guitar, and now
I've
you know
seen you play. You're not wrong.
but that night was a joke. And and some other activity, drinking coffee. Drink- Drinking coffee is one of my non-English activities.
Hmm.
And I am crazy about, you see
It's
how
not
fucked
fair.
up I am. Drinking coffee is one of my non-English activities. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Well, I cannot talk about something like drinking coffee because, well,
You're not a coffee drinker, big coffee drinker.
not really. I don't get any kicks out of
Ah,
coffee.
man.
Yeah.
I used to smoke. I
Mhm.
used to smoke cigarettes,
Yeah.
and I quit smoking. Um, I think um, around I'm doing the math, you know. I 18 years ago,
18 years.
18 years ago I quit smoking.
More power to you, man.
Oh,
How do
thanks,
you
man.
do it?
How did I do it?
How do you do it? Because it's still something that you're doing. Like,
Yeah, yeah, it's been 18 years. Um, you know, sorry, I did the math wrong 16 years ago. Okay. And it's pretty natural now, you know what I'm talking about. I quit smoking 16 years ago. And sometimes now it's interesting after 16 years. These days, sometimes I feel like smoking, but you know, luckily, I'm still focused on my goals, and my
mhm,
goals still, and my commitments still help me, you know, stay away from, steer clear of cigarettes and smoking.
mhm,
Uh, but I think addiction to coffee is something else, and I like it. I drink uh, 2 cups,
a day.
tops, you know, tops.
I remember you once said that you reduced it to one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but so as I said, yep, I may have drunk, for example, 3 cups sometimes, but I mean, generally speaking, I drink 2 cups, sorry, tops, and
But why do you consider it as an activity?
because you know, I was kidding. I was making a joke.
Oh, sorry.
I was making a joke, but I consider it a non-English activity because I get a big kick out of it.
Mm.
Unlike you,
But if you
unfortunately.
do it with other people, if you go in a cafe and sit and talk, then I guess, yeah, sure, that's an activity.
Yeah, that's an activity. But unfortunately, you know, when I drink coffee, I wanna start doing English activities as soon as possible,
Mm.
you know? And because I really love my job and I really love the English language, and I usually drink the first cup in the morning. So the moment I drink coffee and get a kick out of it, uh, I uh, gets, you know, when it produces the desired effect, I start working on my projects. I start listening to podcasts, and you know, um, uh, nowadays drinking coffee is linked to my English activities and my profession. So you play video games, and when you're not doing something related to English. Anything else? Do you remember? Sometimes I think you hang out with your friends,
Sure,
and you like hang
that's
out with your friends. And I think, do you like, for example, stargazing? Sometimes you go to the desert with your friends,
yeah, but it's not so
like a
common that I
hobby.
want to mention it. No,
Mm,
it's last time that I went there was when we had a lunar eclipse
mm.
about 3 or 4 months ago. And before that was when uh I think you were also there when we went to watch the what was the name? When the comets start falling.
Shooting a star?
I don't know. Well, that was the time before that. So I'm not going to say that's an activity I do,
Mm,
you know. And yeah, everybody hangs out with their friends. That's a very humane thing. If you're not doing that, there's something wrong with you, right?
mhm. And do you consider yourself a happy person? Are you happy?
Generally, yeah, but uh it's becoming less and less. I don't know if it's the effect of having one foot in the 30s
Mm.
or not.
Are you running out of happiness, you mean?
Probably. Probably the reason is that I'm not crazy about my job, my main source of income, but that's something that I have to bite my lips and keep doing it.
And thanks for bringing that up because was going to ask you a question about your current job, but it slipped my mind. Now you're working in a bank,
Yeah,
okay? And now you're a banker.
fortunately.
You see, and now I want to take out a loan, and now I think I can bank on you. You know, I can count on you, and I can bank on you. I'm
Yeah,
kidding. So you switched to uh, a completely different job, like banking and working in a bank.
that's my major of university, by the way. It's not,
Really?
yeah,
What was your university?
accounting.
Accounting.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. You
I
see,
dropped out of the physics and then I started accounting.
accounting
Yeah, English was always just an interest. I before
hobby.
Hamid's classes, as I said, I had no plans of teaching it.
Hmm. And suddenly you um, realized, you open your eyes and you realize that you were a teacher.
Yeah,
And
well,
and
I
you
was inspired by it.
so your university major after uh, dropping out of university, and you were a physics major, if I'm not
Hmm.
mistaken. You started studying accounting in university,
Yeah,
and now is your current job is related to accounting.
yeah,
You're working in a bank,
yeah.
okay? And was it difficult to suddenly switch to a new job just to make more money? Because as you said, I think you're not into your new job, and I think you're there to make money.
Yeah, that's the only reason that I keep showing up for that job. And well, the reason is, you look at yourself and you look at the society and you realize, okay, if I'm not there, no one's going to notice. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? You're not making any change.
You're just there.
Yeah, you're just there. And to make the matter worse, I think of the whole banking system as something dirty.
Mhm.
It's not helping anyone.
Mhm.
So, well, that could be one of the reasons that I'm not fully satisfied about myself. I'm doing something that I think that I resented actually.
So, do you think one day you might quit your new job
If I'm lucky.
and be fully involved in teaching again?
I'm not sure about that part. Uh, because when I tried to make that as my career and my main source of income, I saw other problems, as I mentioned,
Hmm.
that was coming out. Uh, maybe someday. Well, we have to see.
Okay. And my last question would be, uh, what are your plans? And what are your plans in your in different spheres, different areas of your life, in your personal life, professional life, married life, and what do you want to do? Do you have any plans
The
lined up?
only plan that I always had was to try to get the most out of it, out of this life.
Hmm.
And I'm
Are
not,
you?
well, I'm trying,
Hmm.
but at the same time, I'm not the person who can set a plan, commit to it, and keep trying.
Hmm.
I go wherever my whim goes. Well, so far so good.
Okay. Honestly speaking, I really enjoyed our conversation.
Me too.
It was a different conversation for different reasons. And we talked about lots of stuff,
I
you
hope
know.
this wasn't boring.
Um, to me, it wasn't. I don't know about our listeners, but to me, it wasn't. I I really got a big kick out of our conversation, and
Same here.
it was interesting listening to you and learning from you. And you are a great friend of mine. Uh, I've always said about you and your wife, Mina, you both have um, hearts of gold,
Thank you.
and you have a heart of gold. And over the past, I think, 4 years, I don't know. I hope you do the math after, you know. this podcast. I think it's been 4 years. Over the past 4 years, you've always been kind to me, and you, you are someone who cares about morality. You're a kind person, and you love your friends, and your friends love you back.
Thank you.
And you are, you know, a valuable friend of mine. So
So
keep
good.
on keeping on and keep up the good work. I wish you the best over the next years in your
Thank you.
life.
Thank you, Mohammed. All that you said, it can be mirrored back, and I can say it right back to you. And well, thank you for inviting me, and
A pleasure.
I really enjoyed this conversation. My friend, colleague, and my teacher.
Um, please don't say that because I don't think I've ever been your teacher.
Yeah, come on, you.
Colleague, yeah, we've been colleagues. I've been your colleague for a while, but never your teacher because you are uh, good at teaching, and you've been a great teacher um, um,
Thank you.
in the past years. And thanks for everything. And wish you the best of luck.
Same goes for you.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.